Okay folks, after the success we had with the Mourne Seafood Bar Squid Kit, we've now developed the Mourne Seafood Bar Paella Kit. Okay, so it's right in here. We're going to open it up and have a look at it. So here we can see we have some mussels, local mussels, and then we also have some prawns and some squid. We have some paella rice, some herbs, lemon, special mix of seasonings, which I can't tell you nothing about because they're secret. Tomatoes, peppers, chorizo, onion, and then we've made our own stock cube, which is fresh. Okay, so the stock cube in it has tomato pulp, loads of shellfish, really rich and high seasoning. And the first thing we have to do is just drop it into 400 mils of water. So instead of you worrying about getting your stock cubes out and working it all out, you just basically drop this in. This is boiling water I have here, just drop it in, okay? And that is your paella stock. So it's like having a fresh fish stock, only you have it at home, okay? And we do all the work for you. I could bore you and tell you how long it's taken to make this, put saffron, aromats, all that sort of stuff into it, and fresh tomato. It's done for you already. Talk through the other ingredients as well. We have paella rice. A lot of people ask, can you use risotto rice to make paella? And my view on it's simple. If you have risotto rice, make risotto. And if you have a paella rice, make paella. Don't try to mix them up. It's just one thing I feel strongly about. But look, let's get started. So first things first, you want to have a pan roughly about this shape. If your pan has too high a sides, it won't cook right, okay? So a large frying pan, or in the business we call a saute pan or a sauteuse pan, which has higher sides, is adequate. A nice glug of oil, like so. And then we open up our first container, which has got the onions and chorizo. Pop those in. There we go. And also as well, I want to make a point of saying, if anybody calls me up or sends a message saying, that's not paella, you need to have rabbit, chicken, broad beans, runner beans in it, I don't care. It's Belfast Paella. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. This is a dish you can get in Mourne Seafood Bar. Takes all the work out of it. It's £10. There's going to be enough grub there for 2 people. And, you know, it's one of them dishes with, when it's totally finished, you put it on the table, everybody gets tucked in. Get a couple of baps or a couple of crusty loaves with it, and you tuck in. It's easy. So, just to recap, chorizo's in the pan, some onions in the pan. I put a little bit of salt in the onions. That's at high. We're going to drop it right down till about 6. All we want to do is take a sting out of the onions, and then also help the chorizo release its natural oils. So this dish we're looking at here, the cooking time in it's roughly about 25 minutes. From this stage until you start tucking in, it's roughly 25 minutes. Okay, but I mean, that's about the amount of time you would, if you went to, like, I don't know, Valencia, famous obviously, the founders of paella. If you went there, that's the sort of time you expect to make it, but you're making it in your own home. All the work's done for you. We've got everything I could think of properly done. And we're going to get a lovely seafood paella, and we'll see how we get on. So, onions are sauteed off there, and see when they start to pick up the fats from the chorizo and to start get that natural sort of smoked paprika coming out of the chorizo. That's telling us now that we need to add in the rice, like so. Give this a toss. If you're not comfortable tossing it like that, just give it a mix. Very, very simple. You want the rice to pick up all the oils of the chorizo. We got some roast peppers. We got some tomato, diced tomato. Tomato and peppers have no salt on them, so a little sprinkle of salt. When you're sprinkling salt, if you go up high and sprinkle it all over the pan, you get an even hit. If you sprinkle salt in one place, the tomato will soak it up, and then you'll just get one tomato, it tastes salty, and the rest, well, will have no salt on them at all. Alrighty guys, you can smell the chorizo, you can smell the onions. Next step is our secret spice. There you go. Get it on there. Get a toss. So folks, we got our stock cube, our Mourne seafood bar stock cube, all diluted. So approximately there's about almost 500 mils of stock in there. We don't want to put all that in because rice in general, doesn't matter what rice you're using, what the cook instruction says, for whatever reason, temperature, humidity, it can take God's amount of stock, or it'll be out by about 100 mils. So what we're going to do is pour it in there, but we're going to hold a bit back, roughly about 100 mils. Let me see what we have here. That is exactly 100 mils. So if you leave it like that, that's what we're after, okay? We want to wait till it comes up to what I would call a rolling boil, and then we're going to drop it right the way down, and then we're going to set a little timer or keep an eye on it for about 20 minutes. The other thing as well is, because it's just a large pan on a ring, you just want to turn it every once in a while. You'll see that at different points the pan is sort of absorbing the heat, and you might need to turn it a little bit to get all the rice cooking evenly. So that's spread all over the bottom, and that's it coming up the heat. We're just going to drop that right the way down. So already it's taken about 5 minutes getting this process. It's probably going to be roughly approximately another 15 minutes to get to the next stage we're going to go to. So I've dropped that to 5. And the most important thing about paella compared to risotto is you don't want to agitate the rice. You want to leave the rice in there and just let it be. That rice is small round rice. If you start working it, it gets very, very creamy. All the starch comes out and you end up with a risotto. So this is almost the opposite of risotto. If you're making risotto, you would never do this. But if you're making paella, you're totally on the money with this one. And that's where we're at. So we're going to let that be. We're going to let the stock evaporate off, all the moisture off. It's going to leave all the flavour. The rice is like a sponge. It's going to soak it up, and we're in for an absolute treat. Okay, folks, just want to have a quick look at this. If you can see, this side of the pan is getting all the heat. This side's getting very little. So it's a matter of just babysitting it and just moving it forward so it catches a little bit more of the heat on your ring, because it's quite a large pan. And so you're getting incorporated this. The whole point of these Mourne seafood bar videos is, when you have a meal for two, you're basically taking a night off. We want you to get a little bit of knowledge. We want you to learn how to cook mussels. We want you to learn how to cook perfect fish. These little kits, you want to get a bit of knowledge. You want to be able to go and cook a risotto. We can give you all the elements that you have here, but also feel free to pick it up. Feel free to pick up other ingredients and play around with them. But you'll know now, through this process, you're going to be able to make the most beautiful, beautiful paella. So the paella there, we roughly have, for two people, 150 grams worth of rice to around about 400 mils of liquid, or stock as we call it. And as you can see now, I've just moved that round and we're catching all the bottom of this beautiful paella. Okay, folks, a couple of little things to finish off is we're going to kick out our half lemon, okay, and just unwrap it, because we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice over a finished paella. And we're going to chop some parsley. The reason why I don't chop it for you is because I think it keeps all its personality. And again, just run your knife through it. You don't have to be, like I'm chopping this quite fine, but just nice and small. Don't have, just take your time. You have 15 minutes pretty much from that paella's in the pan, that you don't have to really worry about it that much, just to chop a little bunch of parsley. We have some peas to go in the same time as the seafood, and at this stage we can get our seafood ready. So again, scissors or a knife, just cut open the bag, like so. We have some squid and prawns in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in there, like so. Just massage it all in. Leave it there. Our mussels, just cut them open. Leave them like so. So pretty much we are good to go to finish off this paella. Okay, folks, you can see we're probably halfway through the time of cooking our paella. You can see that the rice is just like a sponge, just soaking up all the beautiful flavors we've made already in the stock, and some onions and chorizo and all the other secret ingredients. So we have some smoked paprika in there as well, obviously, and some saffron. One point is, I'm probably going to get absolutely nailed by my two friends who works at George's Market, Carmelo and Nash, who do the paella there. And I'm thinking all the time is, what did they do is different from what I'm doing? But it is totally Belfast Paella, right? And hopefully they'll send me a message and say, Andy, thumbs up, you weren't far wrong. But so the proof's in the eating, and hopefully we end up with an absolute finished, amazing finished dish. Also as well is we want to encourage people to cook more seafood. So if you're at home and you don't want to have the meal for two, feel free to maybe buy a squid kit. Have your squid kit as your starter. This will make a great main course. And for the amount of time you have, you know, two people are going to eat for £20. And that for me is absolutely golden. So it's a midweek thing, it's a lunch thing. It's definitely one of the things you can daisy chain on the back of each other. So feel free that with a squid kit, double down definitely with a paella kit, okay? Okay folks, our 15 minutes are up, and there's two stages we need to address here. Number one is you can hear the paella, all the liquids evaporated and all the fats regained in the cooking process and also in the chorizo has fallen to the bottom because they won't evaporate. And so we're actually frying the rice. Get this lovely crisp finish on the bottom of the pan. It's not essential. Because it's Belfast Paella, we're going to get away with it, okay? So that's been frying there, it's up full. I want to create this lovely finish on the bottom of the rice. I'm going to turn that right down to halfway. So it was at 9, we're going to turn it down to actually, say 5, 6. First is we'll get our seafood, right, and just sprinkle it over. It's already been seasoned. Large prawns, some squid. Sprinkle over our peas. And then we're going to just poke these bad boys in here, like so. Time's against me. I think my suckerat is going to be hopefully golden and not black, but tasty. And the 100 mils of stock that we held back is pure genius at the minute, because once we put that in the pan, it's going to basically open up all the seafood. We're going to put a little lid on it, and every one of these mussels contains its own flavour and stock. They're like mini stock cubes. So, in like so, there you go. The rice is thirsty and it's soaking up all that, and then we put a lid on it. Done, okay? Like so. Hopefully we're doing our Spanish friends proud with our Belfast Paella. I'm talking literally 3 to 5 minutes on this. All we're looking to do is open the mussels. We've got a little lid on it. It's like a pressure cooker. We've created this lovely finish on the bottom of the rice. We've put the extra moisture in there just to soak up all the seafood. It'll get steam and release, and all the mussels will let all the juices do. And the first thing the rice is going to do, because it's so dry, is it's going to soak up all that flavour, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Well, it's going to be absolutely amazing when we put a squeeze of lemon on it and some parsley, okay? We've got 5 minutes. Folks, just to recap, okay, we started off with sweating off our onions and chorizo. We added in our rice and our tomatoes and our special seasoning and some peppers, a little bit of seasoning, and then we added in our stock, and we held back 400 mils of stock went in there, we held back 100 mils. And then we cooked it out for 15 minutes. We reduced all the water down to create the lovely crispy finish in the bottom. And then we added all the seafood in, the last 100 mils of stock, and put a lid on it. So let's see what we have. We're going to serve this on the table, family style. Again, folks, this is exactly what you got in your pack. This is £10. It's enough for 2 people as a lovely lunch, a lovely dinner, but you can see how much food you're actually going to get. And let me do the big unveil. And there we have it. A lovely sprinkle of parsley all the way over. And then a nice squeeze of lemon. There you go. We have 1 mussel that didn't open, so just discard him. We always put extra mussels in for this reason. If they all open, then you're in for a treat. So there you go. And then the proof's in the pudding. We're actually going to bring our 4-year-old in, and she's going to tell us what she thinks of a paella, because kids at 4, it's impossible for them to lie. 2 things you say never to work with 4-year-old children or live mussels. So I'm working with both today. So let's see what we've got. We're going to put a little spoonful of paella. Again, this is for 2 people, but it's for 2 hungry people or not so hungry people. I've got a 4-year-old here who's laughing right beside me, and we're going to do her little plate as well. Hope you can hear that. Okay, Ruby, we got some for you. Want to try some?
Yeah.
Let me see what you think. You don't trust me? It's too hot? Now, 4-year-olds can't lie. Tell me what you think of Mourne Seafood Bar Paella Kit. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I think I liked it.
And what about a thumbs up or thumbs down? Come on, give me a thumbs up. There you go. There you go. Okay, I'm going to dish this up for the rest of the family. This is available from Thursday. It's going to hopefully be on every single week. It's Mourne Seafood Bar Paella Kit. It's only £10. It is economically very, very friendly. Again, I don't want any of my Spanish friends phoning me up and going, Andy, what are you doing to our national dish? I want everybody to embrace it and say, you know something? I could do that at home. Bon appetit, enjoy guys.